All right, this is the kitchen Madonna continued. This is number 2. Marta and Rootle had both suffered from the world. Marta, mother said, had been a refugee from her village, driven out by soldiers, and had never seen her mother and father or any of her people again. Rootle had been driven out too, but unlike Marta, he was skinny, perhaps because he had been so starved. Marta limped from a wound. "They shoot at me," said Marta, and Rootle's tabby coat had a bald spot where perhaps someone threw boiling water at him, said Mother. "Oh, oh," cried Janet, and Gregory picked up Rootle and held him tightly. One of Rootle's ears, which must have been cuffed or injured, had grown crooked. Marta, though, thought Rootle beautiful, as Gregory did, and she used to talk to him. "Moha kisia, kisia, my kitty, kitty," she would say, though Rootle was by no means a kitten. "Moha kisia," and Rootle would purr. Sometimes he answered with a meow, but there was something wrong with Rootle's meow. When he opened his mouth, only a ghost of a sound came out, hoarse and stifled, as if those days of being out in the cold and wet had hurt his throat. "But now," said Marta, "he has beautiful big home, Moha kisia." The home was big. Gregory's loft was in the roof and had the house cistern in its corner. The cistern made gurgling noises that seemed company for him when he worked. On the next floor were the children's 2 bedrooms. Janet's was the old nursery, with Marta's room next to them. The floor below was Mother and Father's, with their bedroom, dressing room, and 2 workrooms. Below that again was the drawing room and the dining room. In the basement, Marta had her own sitting room next to the kitchen, but she always sat in the kitchen. "Why, Marta? In your room there's television and a comfortable chair." "I like kitchen," said Marta. "In my home," she told the children, "only 1 room, and that room, kitchen." "1 room for everyone to sit in?" asked Janet. "Sit, cook, eat, wash, sleep, everything's," said Marta. "In a kitchen like this?" asked Janet, marveling, and she asked, "Where were the beds?" No, like this," said Marta. "No cooker, only big oven, big, big, big. On top of oven, big bed, all children sleep." "On top of the oven?" asked Gregory and Janet together. "But wasn't it too hot?" asked Gregory. "Didn't they get burnt?" "Oven have many, many bricks all round. Bricks keep it not too hot. Nice warm," said Marta. "I sleep there when I little. On one side of room, big wooden bed. Father and Mother sleep. Mattress straw, and there is big pillow. Many, many pillow. Beautiful pillow." Marta's green eyes were shining. "White linen case my mother spin, all embroidered red. Other side room, wood table, chairs, stool to sit and eat. Only 1 window, so little that room, always little dark. But fire it shine, pans they shine, floor is earth," said Marta. And suddenly, as if she were dazed, she looked around the expensive London kitchen with its white paint, white tiles, pale blue formica, white enamel, silver chromium. "Not like this," said Marta. "Not at all." Mother had planned the kitchen herself. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" she had said when she showed it to Marta. But Marta had said nothing, in a silence which was curiously like Gregory's. Since Marta came, the kitchen was not quite as beautiful. She brought in a sagging old armchair she had found in the attic lumber room next to Gregory's loft. "Why that old chair, Marta?" "I like," said Marta. Rootle's basket appeared. "Doesn't Gregory mind?" asked Mother again, but he did not seem to mind. A row of plants stood in odd saucers and glass jars on the windowsill, with a wooden box planted with parsley and chives, while strings of onions hung on the nail by the door. Marta's work basket spilled socks over one of the cabinets, and there were always clothes rolled in a damp towel ready for ironing. "I'm afraid Marta's not very tidy," said Mother, but Gregory and Janet, especially Gregory, liked the kitchen far better now. It was warm and cozier. "It's getting filled," Gregory said one day, but Martha shook her head. "It's empty." Sometimes, in her blunt way, Marta said such things to Gregory. She could say them to him. Janet, like Mother, would have been a little indignant, but Gregory only opened his gray eyes wide behind his spectacles, showing that he was surprised and interested. "How can it be empty when it's full of things? More things since you came, Marta." "It empty," insisted Marta. "Things not fill. Here," and she clasped her hand over the bib of her apron. "Kitchen, it feel empty." She might have said more, but just then Janet came bouncing in, and Marta turned quickly to the pan that was bubbling on the stove. "Gregory never forgot things. He's like a small elephant," said Father, and a week later, while Gregory, Janet, and Marta were having tea in the kitchen, he took his chance. Marta had made a wonderful cake tart of apricots glazed with jam, and they had eaten and drunk and laughed. Marta's usually sallow cheeks were quite red. Her eyes, which were often so dull, were bright. There was not a trace of sadness in the air until Gregory put down his cup and asked, in his small, quiet way, "What did you have in your kitchen, Marta, that we don't have in ours?" For a moment, Marta did not speak. Gregory thought she was going to retreat into her silence, and in a voice that Mother had not heard, and Janet seldom had, only when he speaks to Rootle, Janet could have said, a voice that coaxed like a beguiling little flute, he said, "Tell us, please tell us, Marta." Marta twisted her hands in her apron, and her cheeks flushed deeper red. Then, "You have no good place," said Marta. "No good? What do you mean?" Janet was beginning when Gregory kicked her under the table. "What is a good place, Marta?" "In my home, Ukrainian home," said Marta, "we make a good place. In the corner there," and she pointed to an angle of the room, "a place on top of cupboard, perhaps, or perhaps on shelf. Little place, but it holy, because we keep there Our Lady and Holy Child." "A statue?" asked Janet. "Not statue." "A picture, then?" "Not picture." Marta struggled to find words. "Like picture, but more beautiful. They in our churches, too. Pictures, but prickled with gold," said Marta in a rush. "Prickled?" "She means crusted," said Gregory. "Crusted," agreed Marta, and the R sounded rich. "With gold and stones, pearls, rubies." "Real ones?" asked Janet incredulously. "Sometimes real, sometimes no. In many churches, real," said Marta. "In homes, poor homes, not pearls and rubies. This," and she went to her workbasket and brought out a box. In it were beads, big and little, pale yellow, deeper yellow, and a yellow that was almost brown. "Amber," said Gregory at once. Gregory knew about stones, jewels, and semi-precious stones. He loved to pore over them in the Geological Museum and liked to say their names aloud. Sapphire, diamond, emerald, ruby, onyx, lapis lazuli, carnelian, tourmaline. "Yes, amber," said Marta, and again the R rolled. "Rub it warm and it smell good," said Marta. "They find by river near my home." "And do they put amber on the pictures?" "Yes, to make necklace and decorations. They make embroidery on clothes." "Clothes on pictures?" "Yes, beautiful," said Marta, wrapped away. "The mantle, velvet perhaps, the robe, silk, you can feel with your finger," said Marta. "And in front of picture, every day we put vase flowers and a little lighted lamp glass red, like ruby too. The lamp shine. All day we see, kitchen dark, but lamp and picture shine. They face shine, mother, baby, they make happy, warm everywhere you go. They eyes, they look at you, they look." Marta looked round and once more saw the Thomas kitchen. The glow left her face and she put her head down among the teacups and wept. Janet was shocked into silence. She had not seen a grown person cry, but presently Gregory said, as if he had just worked it out, "I know what she means. She means they had a sort of icon." On Marta's head, the skimpy hair was drawn tightly back into a little knob with ugly black hairpins skewered into its dull mouse color. Marta's pale earlobes were pierced with small gold rings. The worn creases of her neck showed above the carefully turned down collar. Gregory's heart suddenly swelled with an unfamiliar feeling so that he too wanted to cry, as he had wanted to cry when he found Rootle in the dustbin. He put out his hands and stiffly patted Marta's shoulder. Gregory, who avoided touching anyone. "Don't cry, Marta," he said. "I will get you an icon."